Hey guys, today I'm gonna narrate a super thriller horror movie called Sinners. You can watch this movie on Amazon Prime. And if you guys don't have time to watch a 2-hour movie like this, it's okay. I will narrate the full story in 15 to 20 minutes. All you have to do is just relax, sit in a comfortable place, and watch this video. If you guys want to watch more interesting movies like this, you can check out my channel. Okay, let's get into the story. The movie starts with a woman narrating about the power of music, how it can connect life and death, past and future. She says music has different names in different parts of the world. A piece of music can bring healing to a community, but it can also attract evil. The movie takes place in Mississippi in 1932. We see a boy driving a car on a road. He is severely injured and holding a broken guitar in his hand. He goes inside a town church, and everyone who sees him is shocked. The father yells his name, Samuel. Sammy goes and hugs him. The father asks him to promise that he will let go of his guitar and let go of his sins, but he can't. Then the scene goes back one day earlier, before whatever happened to Samuel. We see Samuel working on a cotton field in the early morning. After collecting the cotton, he goes to his home, gives it to his mother, then goes inside and wakes up his brothers. Then he goes to his bed and searches for his guitar but can't find it. The camera moves to twin brothers standing outside a barn waiting for someone. After some time, an old man comes there in a vintage car. The twins ask if he is Hogwood, and he says yes. They go inside the barn. They are planning to buy this barn, that's why Mr. Hogwood is here to sell the place. He asks what they are gonna do with this place, but the twins don't answer him. Then the twins say they will buy this place and tell Hogwood that if any of his clan buddies come into their property, they will kill him. We are back to Samuel. He goes into the church that we saw at the start of the movie. His father is the priest for that church. His father welcomes him and says he has brought his guitar here. He wants Samuel to help him give his sermon tomorrow. But Samuel takes his guitar and says he has been working all days, and today is his day, so he says I will see you later. His father doesn't like him spending his time playing music for strangers. He asks why he wastes his time like this, but Samuel didn't answer, but he reassures him by saying that he will come back tomorrow for service. His father warns him not to dance with the devil, because one day he will follow you home. The twins come to the church and call for Samuel. Then Samuel comes out and gets in their car. His father doesn't like him going out with them. We find out the twins are Samuel's cousins. Smoke is the elder one, and Stack is the younger one. The twins ask how their family is doing. It seems like they have come to this place after a long time. Samuel asks how their time in Chicago was, and they say it's not different from this place. Then they bring him to a roadside and show him a cargo truck they have hidden. Then they tell Samuel that they are planning on opening their own juke joint today, but the brothers have a problem now, they are behind schedule. So Smoke says they should split up. Stack and Samuel will go together and recruit people for the juke joint, and Smoke will take the truck and goes to Chow's. Smoke goes to the town to meet Chow. There he asks a kid to watch over his truck, and signal him if someone touches it. Then he meets Bo Chow. I think they have a friendly relationship. He says there is a big event tonight, so he needs catfish for 100 people. Bo asks if they hit any jackpot and got a lot of money during their time in Chicago. Suddenly he hears his truck's horn ringing. He goes and sees someone searching his truck's cargo. He shoots him in the bum. Then Smoke realizes this person is Terry, so he asks why he tried to steal his belongings. Terry says he's sorry, he didn't know it was Smoke's truck. When the kid said it was Smoke's truck, he thought she was lying because Smoke is in Chicago. Then he shoots Terry's friend in the knee and says he can't let this slide, he has a name to maintain. Then Terry asks Smoke what he should do since he doesn't have money to patch himself or his friend. What if he gets sepsis? Smoke goes back to Bo, gives him money to take care of Terry and his friend, then asks if his wife can make a sign for their juke joint. So Bo orders his daughter to go ask her mom to come. When she comes and sees Smoke, she asks why he brought trouble here and why he shot them. Smoke says he has to maintain his name in this area, that's why. She sees the order and says there is so much, it will cost more, especially for the signs. Then he shows her the cash and says money is not a problem here. Then they make the deal. We are back to Stack and Samuel. They are driving through the cotton field and having funny conversations. But at some point Samuel asks if they really killed their father. Stack says he didn't, but Smoke did. He says their father was abusive, he beat Stack a lot, and that's why Smoke killed him to protect his brother. Then Samuel thanks the twins for buying him this guitar. Stack says this guitar was played by a famous musician, so show me what you can do with it. Samuel sings him a song. As soon as he sings, Stack is shocked at how good Samuel is, both at playing music and singing. Stack is so excited that they are gonna make a lot of money. They go to the railway station and meet a person named Delta Slim, who plays the harmonica. Mr. Slim asks Stack what happened. Couldn't you guys survive in Chicago, so you are coming back here? Stack says they are opening a juke joint, and his cousin Samuel is going to sing, but they need musicians like him who play fine harmonica. Mr. Slim rejects them, saying he has to play for another joint. But Stack says they will pay him $20, which is more than they pay him. Mr. Slim says you will only pay me one time and calls me one time, but the joint he's playing for now they calls him frequently and pays him, and your juke joint is new, no one has heard about it, so why I have to risk? Then Stack gives him a beer he brought from Chicago and says if he plays in their juke joint, he can have as much beer as he wants, and he will pay him $40. In an instant, Mr. Slim joins them. Then Stack announces right there that they are gonna open a new juke joint named Club Juke, so come join them and have fun. There Samuel sees a girl. He likes her, so he goes there and asks her name. She says Perline. Then he asks her to come to their Club Juke tonight, join him, and have some fun. But she says she is married. Still, Samuel insists. Then Samuel notices a white woman is staring Stack, so he informs him. Then she comes and speaks with him. It seems like they know each other, or rather, we can say they had a relationship before Stack went to Chicago with his brother. She asks why he left her, but he doesn't want to speak to her. He says, "Mary, shut up." Mary says she buried her mother yesterday and thought the twins would come see her, but they didn't. She gets mad and goes off. It seems like Mary's mother had been taking care of the twins after their father's death. Then Stack, Samuel, and Mr. Slim go out together to recruit their final member. On their way, they see a group of laborers. Samuel asks Slim if he knows them, and he says all of them. He tells his story. When he was young, he and his friend Rice played music on the side of the road. A sheriff arrested them and brought them to jail. They thought they were gonna die, but the officer gave them their instruments and made them sing. Impressed by their playing, they brought them to a big house full of white folks with lots of money. They played music for them and earned a lot of money. Slim used all that money for alcohol, but Rice saved the money to start a little church. But when he planned to get on the train conductor saw him, checked him, and when he found all that money, he made up a story that he stole it by killing white folks, and they killed Rice on the spot. Then they meet their final recruit, Cornbread. When they ask him to join, he rejects them. But when Stack shows him the money he will get if he joins them, his wife orders Cornbread to go and work for them. Then the camera moves to Smoke. He has gone to his old house to see his daughter's grave. Smoke's wife Annie comes out from the house and sees him. She asks where his brother is, and he says Stack is on the other side of the town, he came here alone. Then he says they bought that old mill. They are gonna patch it up and start a juke joint. She asks who he and Stack robbed to get enough money to buy the mill. Smoke does not answer that question. We can see Annie believes in spiritual stuff, but Smoke doesn't believe in them. Then he says they need a cook for their juke, so he asks her to help them. She thinks for a moment but then accepts his offer. And I just found out Annie is the person who narrates at the start of the movie about the evil that gets attracted by the music. Now they have got all the people they wanted to start the juke joint. Smoke and his wife Annie are coming to the juke in the cargo truck. Stack is coming to the juke with the musicians, and Chow is coming with the sign and orders that the twins gave. The camera moves to a house in the middle of a farm. It's evening. Suddenly a man comes and falls down from the sky. He is severely injured, and there is something off about him because he is producing smoke, or we can say he is burning. He comes to the door and yells for help. A man and his wife open the door holding a gun, pointing at him, and ask who he is. The man says he need help, they are trying to kill me. They already killed my wife. He kneels and begs them to save him. The wife asks who is trying to kill him. He says Native Americans. They are chasing him to rob his gold. He says he will give his gold to them. Then the camera shows Native Americans riding horses and coming to this house. We can see ravens flying above the house. The wife opens the door and points the gun at him. He says they are chasing a dangerous thing, and that thing came into their property. Is he inside? She says no. Then the pursuer says he is not what he seems, and if you allowed it inside your house, then we have to act now. Then another native person warns him, saying that night is gonna come, we have to go back, in his native language. He warns the wife and then goes off. She closes the door, and yells that they are gone, but there is no response. She goes inside and sees her husband is on the floor with bite marks on his neck, and the thing is sitting on a chair with blood on his face. He says it's okay, he is just resting. Sometime later, her husband stands up, and we can see his eyes also glowing like the man's eyes, and his teeth are like a monster. The husband says hi baby. The wife screams. The scene ends here. We are back to the juke joint. Grace, Beau's wife, is drawing a sign for the juke joint. We can see a lot of people coming to this joint, maybe because during that time racial discrimination is at its peak, so they can't go to juke joints casually. But now they have a juke joint only for black people. Smoke doesn't like that some of the people are using local money instead of US dollars, but Annie and Stack tell him they have to adapt to this if the juke joint needs to survive here. They have to make them feel they belong here. Then outside, Mary comes, but Cornbread is not allowing her to come inside. He says this juke joint is only for black people. But when he realizes it is Mary, he is so happy. He hugs her and lets her in. Inside we can see Samuel is flirting with that girl he saw on the railway station earlier today, and oh boy, he is really good at it. Then he sees Mary. He goes to her and says she should not be here. She gets mad at first, but when she realizes he is their cousin, she drags Samuel to the counter to buy him a drink and speak with him. She tells him how her mom took care of them since their birth. Smoke sees Mary speaking with Samuel. He goes near them and orders Samuel to get away from her. It seems like he doesn't like Mary that much. Smoke goes to Stack and tells him to go and handle Mary, otherwise he has to do it by himself. Stack asks her to get out, but she says she's not here for him, she's here to hear music. He drags her, but she doesn't intend to go out. He says how much money she wants so that she will get out of here, but she genuinely wants to be with him. He says if someone sees her here with him, they will kill her, and if they did that, he will kill them. That's when Mary asks, so you will kill for me but won't tell the truth about your real feelings? He finally gives in and says yes, he loves her, and that's why he wants her to be safe, and it won't happen if she is with him. This is where the party starts. Slim asks Samuel to come and play the music. As he plays, everyone in the juke is mesmerized by his voice. Smoke is impressed. The music is all over the juke. Everyone is dancing and having fun. Then the camera goes outside, and we can see the monster from the start, and its two puppets standing outside the juke joint, hearing the music Samuel is playing and seeing how the people are dancing in a trance. He is ready for a feast. Cornbread, who is guarding the juke joint, sees three strange white folks coming toward the juke. He warns his friend to call Smoke. Cornbread asks the strangers why they are here. The monster says they are kind of musicians who roam here and there. They says they are hungry, and they want to have some drink too, so the monster asks Cornbread can they come inside? But Cornbread doesn't let them in. The twins and others sees the commotion and comes there. Smoke asks if they are from the clans group. The monster says no, they believe in equality. They are here to spend some money, enjoy the party, and have a good time. Then the three strangers starts to play music, which is good, but at the end Smoke rejects them, and says this juke joint is only for black people. For that the monster asks then why Mary is in there. Annie gets mad and says she is family. The monster persists, even saying that they have lots of money to spend, but then suddenly Smoke pulls the gun. The monster doesn't have a choice, so they slowly start to move away from the club. The twins start to think they are from the clan's group, but they don't know for sure. So Smoke orders Cornbread not to let them in. Samuel meets with Smoke and thanks him for giving him this opportunity. He says he is planning to pursue this career and he is moving to Chicago. Smoke warns him it may feel good now, but in the long run he will suffer because of white people. He says to follow his father's footsteps or make church music, but moving on is a bad idea. But Samuel is not listening, he is dead set on moving on. This becomes a big argument between them, which leads to Smoke pointing his gun toward Samuel to show him fear. Stack and Mary are speaking about the three strangers. Mary says she will go and speak with them, find out if they harbors any ill will toward them, or are genuinely telling the truth, because the strangers are ready to spend their money, so Stack gives Mary his gun to protect her from the strangers if they try to harm her. Mary goes out and sees the strangers singing at the roadside. She goes near them and says she is here to check if they are good people. Then she asks the strangers to show the money. The stranger shows her a gold coins and says that it comes from various places from various times. Then they say she doesn't need it because she came to the club in search of love and we can see you are in pain like you lost something recently. Mary, confused, says yeah, her mother passed away yesterday. The monster says her mother would have survived if she had met him sooner, but he can still save Mary. As soon as he says that, his eyes start to glow and he starts to drool. This freaks out Mary, she pulls out the gun and says they should go back from where they came from. Then she walks away, but we can see the monster flies toward her, and the scene ends here. Everyone is dancing inside the juke, and Mary comes to the entrance and asks Cornbread if he gonna let her in, or block her way. He says she can go inside. After that, Cornbread asks Slim to take care of the entrance as he goes out to piss. Mary goes to Stack and hands him the gold coins and says he can let them in. Then she kisses him and starts to seduce him. Then they go inside a room to have private time. Back of the juke, the crew catches a man cheating on a game, but he was armed. So Smoke comes and beats him, then orders his crew to take care of him. Inside the room, Stack sees Mary is drooling, but he doesn't care about that. We can see a bite mark on the back of her neck. Smoke asks Samuel to bring Stack, but Samuel says Stack is having a private session with Mary. He gets mad and goes there. On the way, he sees the entrance guarded by Slim. He asks where Cornbread is. Slim says he is taking a break. Smoke gets even madder. He goes inside the room to confront Mary and Stack, but he sees Mary is biting his neck and sucking his blood, and his brother is shaking in pain. When Mary sees Smoke, she stands up and says it's not what it looks like. Smoke is confused and sees his brother suffering. He pulls out the gun and shoots Mary repeatedly. The music stops, and everyone inside the juke hears the gunshot. Mary falls down, but she stands up again, and she starts to laugh, which freaks out both Smoke and Samuel. She says with a big smile, "We gonna kill every last one of you," and she pushes Smoke and runs out of the juke, saying, "We are gonna have a very fun night." Everyone comes inside and sees Smoke holding Stack on his arm. They find out Stack is dead. Annie orders Slim to announce to the guests to go home. Slim comes out. Everyone asks about the gunshot, but Slim says the party is over to everyone. People get mad, but Bo helps the people to get out. Samuel cries and says he could have stopped it, but he thought they were only having some fun. Annie comforts him and asks if she said anything. Samuel replies she said, "We are gonna kill every one of you." Annie gets suspicious about the "we" part. She realizes something bad, so she asks Smoke to take his body out, but he is not letting her touch Stack's body. Smoke says he shot her, but she moved like nothing happened. Annie says she is a ghost we are dealing with. We have to get everybody inside and dead bodies outside. Smoke is not listening to her. We can see he is suffering. It's his twin brother that he just lost. Grace says to Bo they have to go, something bad is going on here, they have to go back to their daughter. So she tells him to go out and get their car. Bo doesn't have any other choice than listening to his wife, so he goes out. Annie locks the room and gives the key to Samuel and tells him to watch over the door. She then consoles Smoke. Outside the juke, we can see Cornbread coming toward them. Slim gets mad at him and asks where he has been the whole time. He says, "Come on man, I'm just taking a piss break, that's all." He sees Smoke covered in blood and asks what happened to him. Smoke says Stack is dead. He apologizes to him and asks him to let him in so he can help them. But suddenly Annie stops him and asks why can't he come inside by himself, why does he need Smoke's permission? Everyone inside is confused why Annie is speaking like this. He says it's not polite to come inside without consent. Then he asks Smoke again, but Annie yells toward him and says to speak to her, not to Smoke. Just come inside, you didn't ask permission when we came earlier. Cornbread is silent. Then Annie says to admit the truth that you have already died. The three strangers killed you, and now you are a ghost. This freaks out everyone inside the club. Cornbread smiles and says to Smoke, you going to listen to this nonsense? He says to Annie that Smoke just lost his brother, he needs comfort, but she is filling him with these folktales. Smoke agrees with Annie, you were going in and out this whole day, but now you need an invite. Something is wrong with you. Cornbread says okay, at least give my money, it's my right. Smoke reaches his hand out to give him his money. As soon as his hand goes out, Cornbread pulls him out and tries to bite him, but Smoke pulls his gun before that and shoots Cornbread. But he is not dead. We can see his throat is a mess, but he still stands up. But before he can catch Smoke, Annie drags him inside and closes the door. Everyone screams inside the juke joint, they can't believe what they are seeing. And we can see that the monster from the start. It always asks consent to get inside. It seems like without their consent, it can't come inside and harm them. She checks Smoke to see if he got bitten or not. Smoke asks Annie how he got up, he shot him, he should be dead. As they are speaking, we can hear a knock inside the room where Stack died. Samuel places his head on the door to hear the knock. Suddenly a knife pierces through the door. Samuel calls Smoke. We can hear Stack from the other side of the door calling out for Smoke and asking him to open the door. Smoke asks how he is feeling, he lost a lot of blood. He says he's okay. Grace asks Annie that you said he is dead. Annie says she checked the pulse, he indeed was dead. Annie says to Smoke that ain't your brother. Stack gets mad at Annie and says to Smoke, are you going to listen to her over your own twin brother? But Smoke is not opening the door. He gets mad and curses them. Smoke can't hold it anymore, so he goes to Annie to get the key. Samuel comes near the door and tries to speak to him, but he doesn't reply. Suddenly he breaks the door and tries to attack Smoke, but Annie pours water on him, which burns his face. He can't bear the pain. He runs off and gets out of the juke joint. Grace asks what's in the jar. Annie says pickled garlic. Then she says those things ain't ghosts, they are vampires. And the scene ends here. Sometime later, Grace tries to go out to find her husband Beau, but Annie is not letting her out. She says it's dangerous outside. But Grace refuses to listen to anything from them. Then Annie says we are trying to protect you, and we don't have any choice but to wait here until sunrise. They making weapons that could hurt them using garlic, silver, and holy water. Samuel asks if they die, then how they move and speak. Annie says she has only heard the stories. Vampires, if they bite someone it will kill that person, but their soul will get stuck inside the body and be controlled by the will of the head vampire. The only way we can give them peace is by killing them and releasing their spirits. And even if they kill the head vampire, the remaining can live on. We have to kill all of them one by one. Slim asks how we can even kill them. Annie says sunlight or a stab to the heart. Then Annie asks Smoke privately that if she turns into one of them, please kill her, she has to go and see her daughter on the other side. But Smoke promises her that he will protect her. Suddenly they hear Pear screaming. There is a man unconscious on the floor. They don't know if he is bitten by vampires or if he was already here. Annie orders them to drag him outside. When they drag him out, they see the entire guests who came here have turned into vampires, and they are all having their own party on the side of the road, dancing and singing, having fun. Inside the juke, everyone can hear music from outside. They know they are trying to provoke them. Then Annie gives garlic to all of them and asks them to eat it to find whether any one of them here is a vampire posing as a human. But Pearl is not eating it. Smoke points the gun and orders her to eat. Samuel tries to protect her, but Smoke smacks his face and says he is trying to protect him. She eats it unwillingly. She is a human. Outside the juke, the man they dragged out, he is a human too. He drank too much, that's why he is lying on the floor. He wakes up and sees the group dancing on the other side of the road. He doesn't know what's happening. He knocks on the door to the juke and begs them to let him in because he sees all the people on the other side are covered in blood. We can see Cornbread is running toward him. As soon as Smoke opens the door, Cornbread lunges on him and starts to bite his throat. He screams in pain. Then Grace sees her husband Bo outside, and he greets her, saying, "Come out, I brought the car as you wished. Let's go home." But Grace knows it's not her husband because someone is killing a man beside him, but he is not even reacting slightly. Bo says, "If you don't want to come, it's okay. You can let me in, and I will pick our things and go out." As he is speaking, we can see his eyes glow. Annie warns her not to listen to him. The head vampire comes there and says, "I'm your way out." He says how the outside world treats them, how racial discrimination is killing them, but if you join us, we will be equals. So why don't you let us in? Then he threatens Grace by saying he knows everything Bo knows, so let us in or he has to go home and pay their daughter a little visit. Grace gets so mad and tries to go out, but everyone grabs her and drags her in. He then speaks in their native language, saying he won't bite their daughter too hard. Samuel says, "You are the devil." He sees Samuel and says, "You are the reason I'm here. Your music attracted me here." He says his gift for music can bring his people back to him. So he says to them, "Just give Samuel to us, we will let you all live." But they refuse it and say he will be with them. Then Stack and Mary and the first two vampires that turned, comes there smiling. Then the head vampire says a truth to Smoke, Hogwood, the man who sold this place to them, saying he is not with the clan. He lied. He is the leader of the clan group. And he says the first two humans he turned, they were their nephews who were planning to kill them the next day. He just happened to show up at the right place at the right time. Stack says he is telling the truth. I can read his mind, and he says this place is no juke but Hogwood's killing floor. He always does this, sell it to black people, then come and kill them the next day. Don't worry, we will go and kill him after we take Samuel with us. Then Mary comes and says, "We are family, so once we kill you guys, we all can live happily together on this earth." Then the man Cornbread killed, he rises up, and his eyes glow. He becomes a vampire too. Stack tries to convince Smoke, but before he can turn him, they close the door. Inside the juke, Grace is readying the weapons to fight the vampires. When Pearl says if we stay here until dawn we will be safe, Grace says the vampire speaks Chinese. It knows everything Bo knows, so you saying I should wait until it kills her daughter and turns all the people in the village into vampires? We have to end them. We have to kill them all before they get away. Smoke says he needs time. Grace gaslights him by saying you are a soldier. You shot 2 people because they touched your truck. These monsters killed your twin brother and turned him into a vampire. You gonna let it slide? Then she turns and goes back to make weapons. Annie tries to stop her, but suddenly they hear music outside the juke, the vampires singing. When Grace sees her husband also singing with them, she reaches her limit. She picks up the weapon and tries to go out to kill them, but Smoke and Annie grab her. Smoke closes her mouth, but she bites it and yells, "Come on in. I will kill all of you." The group knows they are screwed. They pick up all the weapons they have made. Suddenly the door of the juke opens, and the head vampire comes inside. Grace throws a Molotov on him, but he deflects it toward the wall, and the Molotov blows. The building catches on fire. Then every vampire runs toward them. Grace drags Bo outside while both of them are engulfed in fire. She stabs him in his heart. Everyone starts to shoot the vampires. They help each other to survive against them. But still, some vampires get hold of the juke employees or remaining guests and bite them. Annie throws pickled garlic on the head vampire's face. He groans in pain. But Stack comes from behind and bites Annie on her neck. Pearl shoots Stack. Smoke goes to help Annie, but he remembered the promise he made with her, so he stabs her heart and kills her. Mary sees that, she screams calling Annie out, and cries in pain, but Stack drags her outside. It seems like they have feelings, but different from humans. Slim sacrifices himself so that Pearl, Samuel, and Smoke can escape through the first floor. When they open the door to escape, the head vampire jumps down from the sky and grabs Samuel by his throat. When Smoke tries to help him, Stack comes and intervenes. The head vampire bites Pearl in front of Samuel. But Smoke shoots him. Pearl and Smoke orders Samuel to run until dawn comes. He jumps out and runs, but the head vampire comes flying and catches him and slices his face. Samuel falls on the pond. Inside the juke, the twin brothers are fighting. Stack is mad that he killed Annie. He tries to bite him, but Smoke is putting up a good fight. Outside, when the head vampire tries to bite Samuel, he starts to pray. Then the head vampire starts to pray with him. The vampire group comes out after killing Slim, and they also pray in chorus. The head vampire says long ago the people who killed his father and took away their farm said these words. You think the God will save you? Inside the house, Smoke finally defeats Stack and readies to kill him. Outside, the monster is mocking Samuel. Then suddenly Samuel attacks the monster using his guitar and breaks his face, and we can see every other vampire can also feel the pain. The monster takes the disc from his face in pain. He is mad. He grabs his neck and says we will make music hereafter, together, forever. But before he could bite him, Smoke comes from behind and stabs his heart. He screams in pain, and we can see his body is evaporating. Every other vampire cries for him, and the sun rises. Vampires scream in pain and try to run, but they are late. The sun burns them to ashes. And finally the head vampire, who is screaming in pain as the sunlight falls on him, burns and dies. Then sometime after, Smoke orders Samuel to go back home and says he has unfinished business to take care of. Then Samuel takes the car and goes to the church, and this is the scene we see at the start of the movie. In the juke joint, Smoke arms himself with guns. He is planning to face Hogwood and his clan members who plan to kill the twins the next morning. Then sometime after, the clans come to kill them, but they see the juke joint is empty. Then Smoke starts to shoot them from the back and kills them with a Tommy gun. Then a couple of people try to escape in their truck, but Smoke shoots the truck and blows it. He also got shot. He goes near Hogwood. He begs Smoke to let him live. He says he will give him money. Then Smoke takes a cigarette and asks Hogwood to give him a lighter. Then he smokes in front of him. Smoke sees his wife and daughter. He knows his time has come, so he shoots his full load on Hogwood and kills him. In the church, when his father asks him to let go of the guitar, Samuel rejects him. He gets out of the church, takes the car, and goes off. Then years later, we can see Samuel has gotten old and he has become a famous singer. He is at a bar having a drink. Then his bodyguard comes and says there is someone here to see him. They are asking permission to come inside. Samuel says to let them in, then he sees Stack and Mary coming inside, they haven't even aged a bit. Samuel is confused. He thought they were all dead. Samuel asks how. Stack says Smoke let him live, he made him promise to stay away from you, let you live your life. Then he says, but you're too old now. You're gonna die soon, you wanna be immortal? I can help. Samuel rejects the offer. Then Stack asks him if he can sing a song for them. The songs nowadays are bad, he wants to listen to the old ones. Samuel plays a song for them like in the old days. They are having fun. We can see both Mary and Stack want Samuel to become a vampire like them so he won't die, but they have to respect and follow the promise they made with Smoke. Then Stack pays for him and hugs him. As they are going out, Samuel calls them and says, that day was the scariest day of my life, I have nightmares about that night once a week, but the things we did in the juke were the best days of his life. Stack says there is no doubt about it, it may have been a few hours, but we were free. Then Mary says take care little Sammy, and they goes out, and the movie ends here. Hey guys, so that was the super intense horror thriller movie called Sinners. This movie knows exactly how to build tension and deliver chills. The atmosphere in 1930s Mississippi feels thick and alive, especially once night falls. The vampire rules and the way music plays such a big role in the story are really fresh and interesting. The final act turns into complete chaos with some brutal and creative kills that actually surprised me. I really liked how the movie balanced horror with emotion, especially the bond between the twins and Samuel's love for music. The performances were strong, and the way it handled themes of family, racism, and survival made it more than just another vampire movie. One thing that really hit me hard was the twins' sacrifices. Stack had sacrificed his love for Mary in the past just to protect her from racial discrimination and danger. Smoke had lost his daughter and left his wife Annie behind because of the pain. Just when these broken brothers were finally coming back together, trying to build something meaningful with the juke joint, the devil shows up and destroys everything they cared about. That tragedy made the story feel even heavier and more emotional. One thing that stood out is how music is used both as something beautiful and something dangerous. It added a unique layer to the horror. From my point of view, this movie is a solid 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, some parts feel a little stretched, but the atmosphere, the vampire lore, the emotional depth, and those powerful brotherly moments make it a very entertaining and rewatchable horror film. If you liked the story, subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon.